And this is, I don't work out, to be honest. I work out, but it's like I do karate twice a week. I do push-ups and chin-ups to stimulate the muscle fibers. But I haven't stepped foot in a gym since January.
And this is, to be right, 2.5 months. Is that right?
Yes, this right
Not
here
even
is
3 months yet.
probably
Wow.
closer to 2.8 at this point, if we're gonna get technical about it. But yeah,
Incredible.
I don't know if there's there's the side by side, and that's everything.
Yeah.
So you can see I actually cut Katie out of this photo, but you can see her face here.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let me stop the screen sharing here.
Yeah. Man, what a story. That's crazy. All right, as good as those benefits were for looks wise, I want to hear the other benefits as far as your moods. You said you were on Adderall. Let's touch up on that one for you.
Well, let's go with the gut health first.
Oh, okay, sure.
So it's gonna get PG-13 here. So when ever since I was a kid, my mom's called me the puker, right? I would at 2 years old, I would be in my crib and just puke.
Oh wow.
And then as I got older, I remember in pre-K, I puked on my childhood crush. So I puked on her. I got sent home probably weekly for puking. So I've always thrown up, right? And this is at pre-K, so it's not like a anorexic or eating.
Right. It's not like you were forcing it or anything. It just happened.
Right. I would just start coughing and then I would throw up.
Wow.
And then I got to around 10 years old and I was probably puking 5 or 6 times a week.
That much?
Right?
Dang.
Yeah. No joke. I mean, in the middle of the night, waking
not you
up,
trying, just
no.
Okay.
No, like waking up in the middle of the night to throw up. My mom still has the carpet stain from.
Oh my god.
So then I hit around 13, and I was having bloody stools, like just straight blood, and then blood in my vomit. So I rushed to the emergency room. They kept me there for a week and a half at the hospital in quarantine, thinking I had some infectious disease. They would hazmat suit up to come see me. I was sent home within a week and a half. They had no idea what was happening.
So you stayed a week and a half at the hospital for that?
And I saw 5 different specialists.
Wait, was it that much? So it's not a little bit of blood then. It must have been a lot of blood.
No, it was a lot of blood.
Pooping. Oh my god.
Yeah, they were like, it was bad. And no one could tell me it was wrong. So they sent me home. Like once my symptoms had stopped, which my symptoms stopping was because I had nothing more to crap out because they put me on a bone broth diet. Oh my god, horrible. So that was the symptom stopping. Then I got sent home, and that literally, I've been in and out of the hospital since I was 13. It's like routinely. It's like once a year I go to the hospital.
Since we've dated. Every year since we've started dating, he's been in the hospital for a week.
Yeah, with same issues.
And then every time it's an endoscopy, colonoscopy.
Yeah. I've had 6 colonoscopies and 6 endoscopies.
Since 13?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they wanted to put me in an ulcerative colitis study at 14.
Oh, man.
They wanted to put me in a medical study. Then they tested me and said, you don't have it.
Yeah. So you did not. So technically, they could not diagnose you with it because
they couldn't diagnose me with anything.
But you were still pooping blood and
vomiting.
And vomiting.
Right. Yeah. How long? Go ahead.
How long after that, when you got out of were you kept on doing this whole time?
Yeah. So this happened up until I started keto. When I started cutting out a lot of the keto foods, it would get better. Mm-hmm. When I started cutting out a lot of the standard American diet foods, it would get better. And on keto, it was pretty okay. I still went.
It was whenever he would do enlightened ice cream
or if I cheat and have pizza.
Yeah, whenever he would really do.
If I cheated.
Keto, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, we're talking about the blood and the vomiting?
Well, no blood, but vomiting. And still really bad stool. Like you would not consider them healthy stools.
Oh, wow.
But the vomiting, yeah. So if I had cheese pizza, I remember I would go out to, this was at 17 years old. I'd eat cheese pizza, which no one's diagnosed me lactose intolerant. They've tested me for that, right? So I don't have I'm able to break down lactose.
Right.
So I would eat pizza. I remember this really clearly. I had like 2 pieces. Went out to my friend's car, felt sick literally after eating it, got out, puked in the grass, and got back in the car. Like just like that.
like casual.
That's how used to she doesn't even get up if I puke.
Yeah.
Because that's how neither were my parents. At 13 years old, normally your parent will sit next to you when you're throwing up. My parents did it so much, and I knew how to do it so much, I didn't even go wake them up anymore. I just went to the
God. So this was totally natural for you. You just thought this was a normal thing.
Yeah.
Well, not that I thought it was normal, but it
you
felt
probably
normal.
Did. Yeah, but you felt normal. Yeah, got it.
So even last year, I was puking still having like stomach issues. It wasn't weekly though, but it was still like just random, abnormal, no sickness, no stomach flu, no cold, no nothing, just throwing up.
Okay, since you're carnivore, when was the last time you puked?
I threw up last night because I had some bad meat.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was a choice on my part.
He took a risk.
I took a risk.
He was like, yeah.
You knew it was bad meat?
I suspected. I questioned. I should have thrown it away, but the expiration date was good, but it had a look to it that looked weird.
Yeah. We went somewhere we hadn't gone before to buy meat.
Yeah.
We paid our price. Now we know.
Yeah.
That would do it. Yeah.
And there was other symptoms that came with the vomiting that made me know it was the meat.
But before that,
it was great.
Before last night,
we had a real streak going.
Yeah.
The last time was when we both got us and our whole families got the stomach flu.
Oh yeah.
But everyone else was puking for days. I who was already on carnivore puked one time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So everyone else had fever and was puking for days. I never got a fever and I puked once.
Now that's amazing for the amount of times you'd puke a week.
Yeah. And then, so I had the stomach flu because I didn't feel great. Like my stomach felt upset, but I was not puking as they were puking.
Nothing like they were. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So,
okay. How about your bowel movement? You were also suggesting that you had bad issues before. And how about now since carnivore?
They are less they happen so few and far apart that it's hard to tell what's normal, but they feel fine. They look fine.
So any bloody stools?
No, it's just because I think we talked about, because I'm fasting and eating carnivore, I have so little
output.
Yeah. Like I still poop. I still go to the bathroom, but it's not 3 or 4 times a day.
Right. But you don't feel constipated. You don't feel bloated from it.
No.
No. So in our whole family, his mom, like me, his parents, his whole family knows Noah is the pooper. He's the path.
Yeah, they make jokes about it because I'd be in the toilet for 15 minutes.
Like Noah's like, all right, guys, I'm going to the bathroom. We'd be like, okay, see you tomorrow. Like it was like a joke in our family,
and it was frequent too.
Because he would just, it was like he had such issues that it was like,
yeah,
all right, good luck in there.
I'm 19 and I have hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like the issues that he's had is crazy. But
I had last year I had an anal tear from how bad my stool was.
Oh, is that where the blood was coming from then before?
No,
that's different.
There was that the blood that came when I wiped was because I had a tear.
Yeah.
In my in my butt.
Okay, actually, that does put another question, not to gross the audience out, but
yes.
the how is the hemorrhoid on carnivore? Is it still there? Is it less?
It's unnoticeable. So if it is, I mean, I would say I'm not checking it out frequently.
Yeah, but this is something you feel that it's pretty obvious,
Yeah,
when it is flaring up.
Not.
Yeah,
because hemorrhoids hurt.
Yeah, they hurt. Exactly. I'm just saying, so it's not flared up, nothing. I mean, it's there, but you don't feel it, right?
I don't even know if it's there. I haven't.
You don't even know if it's there. That's awesome. I love that.
But last time they diagnosed it, you have hemorrhoids and a tear, and that was last year, and it was on and off when I would wipe because it would get so aggravated. Even before I started carnivore, when I would wipe, there'd be blood every time, lots of blood on the toilet paper.
Oh man, that's horrible for that young. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Were you on any medication for this whole gastro issues you've been having?
No, they couldn't treat me because they didn't
treat you at all.
Wrong. Yeah. And after I've probably seen 7 or 8 specialists in my life, not one of them said anything about diet.
Wow.
And
these were gastro specialists, right? They didn't even mention what you ate. Nothing.
They never asked me.
They never asked you.
No.
And they never even suspected even a little bit like gluten or anything like that that could be
Nope.
acting for you. Nothing like that. Wow.
Always
Amazing.
the first assumption was infectious disease, and then I got quarantined.
Holy cow, that's unreal.
Yeah,
Wow.
like I was so dehydrated one time because how much I was puking. Like I couldn't keep down water. Like a sip, like a small sip, like a droplet on my tongue would trigger me to throw up.
Man, that's
So they had to
crazy.
get me on an IV and keep me in the hospital for.
That's how you have to keep hydrate.
Right, they had to do it with an IV.
Wow.
And all of this, like his puking, leads into one of the biggest things that I've noticed with him on Carnivore, which is what got me into Carnivore, and that's his anxiety, because his anxiety is all
my anxiety could trigger throwing up.
It was in his stomach.
So I want to hear a little more about your anxiety, but first of all, were you on medication for any of those things?
For anxiety?
Mental, anxiety or anything else?
No, so I took Adderall for my ADD, and I didn't take anything for my anxiety. I take Deplin I have what's called the MTHFR, and it's a broken down folate because my brain doesn't process it. So you're going in and out.
Yeah,
so I still take that, but it's not a medication. It's basically like a vitamin.
But the lack of the folate can cause
a
lot of issues.
If I don't have the folate for my brain, it'll it can cause like heart problems, seizures, stroke, heart attack,
Okay. So explain when you were on your SAD diet, what would happen to you mentally?
Even taking the Deplin, I started having anxiety at like 15, where I couldn't spend the night away at friends' houses.
Wow. Explain this anxiety. What do you mean? Was it an attachment issue or just not used to a new place or what?
Yeah, all the above. I always I'd go camping because I love to camp, but I'm worried about leaving her alone. Like what's gonna with the worst case scenario kind of anxieties. Just irrational. Like nothing was irrational fear. It was all
you get into a full-blown panic, worried about, say, your wife.
Yeah.
So it was like, so Noah always struggled with separation anxiety like his whole life, ever since he was a kid. He wouldn't leave his mom. Like if she would
I went to school a year later.
Yeah, he was prolonged a year of school because he couldn't, like, his attachment with his mom was very strong, and if she wanted to leave him, because she had to, like, she had a life too, she would have to leave like her hair tight with him, so he knew she was coming back.
Oh wow.
It was
and I didn't have a bad childhood. Both my parents,
he had a great childhood, great parents, incredible. But yeah, so the anxiety was so strong, and then when he got older, for whatever reason, it would transfer over. If I went over to a friend's house for a night and he's like, hey, can we FaceTime? Because usually when we were dating, we would FaceTime like overnight and like fall asleep on FaceTime together. He'd be like, hey, can you FaceTime? I was like, I can't really, like, I'm with my friends, like, trying to spend the night there. He would get so much anxiety, it would cause him to puke. And that's where like that's what I mean when I say like his anxiety was connected to his stomach.
You know how like you can hold your anxiety in different places? Like some people get headaches, some people like each person has
the heart.
They feel it in their chest.
Oh yeah, the chest. Yeah, right. You're right. Yeah.
So my anxiety is held in my stomach, and already having a bad stomach.
Yeah.
Like instead of my stomach just hurting, it's like it's enough to trigger like vomiting.
You would start puking. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and like I've struggled with anxiety a lot in my life, but never so bad where it's like I'm gonna puke.
This was weekly, not puking weekly, but the anxiety in my stomach.
Anxiety was weekly.
Yeah.
And we're talking about anxiety that you couldn't help. It didn't have to be a special situation. It did just creep up on you, or it had to be a certain situation that made you.
It happened. Like I knew situations that would cause it, that I like sometimes just can't avoid a situation, you know? Like
right, of course.
But yeah, sometimes it just creep up on me. Like I'd be sitting at school, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about something, and it goes down a rabbit hole, you know? And
really,
then it's like,
wow,
throwing thoughts.
Yeah.
It got so bad that we ended up, while we were dating, and we were only 16 at the time, we went to couples counseling because we both knew that we wanted long-term futures together, and we knew that this level of anxiety and like separation attachment was like in codependency just wasn't healthy. So we thought it was all like mental based, and that if we just went to couples counseling, like everything would be solved, his separation anxiety would be fine. Still wasn't. When we were on our honeymoon we went to the Virgin Islands back in August, and he started having the worst anxiety on our honeymoon. And I couldn't comprehend it. I was like, dude,
I had to take Benadryl to go to sleep.
Yeah, he had to take Benadryl.
Oh my God.
But it was because we were in a different country away from our family.
Oh.
And like everything in our home and everything. So that separation from our family in a completely different country. And I was like, we're in paradise, bro. Like we just got married.
And during the day it's fine. It's usually at night.
Always at night. At night, he starts having spiraling thoughts, starting stress, pukes.
Yeah, so I'd have to like
wakes up puking.
Take Benadryl, like two or three Benadryls to zonk out.
And this was normal. This was at least once a month, like occurrence where something big would happen.
Yeah.
Where it was like up till 2 a.m. trying to calm him, like over the phone, like just trying to talk things through. Then always ending the phone call with, "Hey, I gotta call you back. I'm gonna go puke." Beep.
Wow. So you just adjusted to that, Katie? You just knew when it was gonna happen to him?
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is just Noah. Okay. Noah's an amazing person. Everything about him is incredible.
Yeah.
This is difficult, but I can deal with this because he's incredible. So
you knew how to calm him down too, to the point where, or there was no stopping the anxiety once it's there?
I think it was keeping it at bay until he threw up.
Okay. Right. Oh, I see.
It was that's what.
Or distractions would help.
Yeah, trying to keep him, instead of making it worse, just keeping it at the level it is until he threw up, and then he'd be fine. And that was like, it was.
So here's the big question, because a lot of people will say, well, you just have anxiety because you're crazy. Now, let's see, when you change your diet to carnivore, tell me the difference there.
So I didn't notice it at first, because I think we talked like it's just such a weekly, monthly, daily, in and out kind of
part of your personality.
Yeah, just a part of who I was.
Yeah.
It sounds weird to say that I didn't notice when it disappeared, because it's not something that I liked about myself or looked forward to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when it disappeared, I wasn't like, oh, where's my anxiety? Like where's I missed that, you know? I was so busy and happy and just focused on living that it wasn't until all three of us were talking one night and Kitty goes, yeah, she hasn't had anxiety in months.
Yeah.
And you go, wait, what do you mean anxiety? And we dove into it, and I was like, I've been sleeping better, I've been controlling my thoughts, I haven't had an anxiety attack.
Wait, so a lot of people would question that. Obviously, you might not have had, you had probably a streak where you probably didn't even have any issues or challenges that happened along the way, but you're in Texas, right? So can you tell us what happened when that deep freeze happened and how you dealt with that as an anxiety moment?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm in Texas. We moved in January, 1 month or 21 days before Carnivore, away from our families to Texas.
Oh man, that's unreal.
Right? At 19
so we had
at
19 years old. So we had a huge transition.
You must have been puking every day on that one.
Yeah,
I was 24/7 stressed.
We have no family here. We only have
we have two friends
that have completely their own lives. We didn't really have anything, but we just knew we wanted to be here and we wanted this for ourselves. We wanted big adventure. That's one of Noah's biggest things.
I'm very adventurous.
Until his anxiety came.
Until my anxiety. Because I love to do things. I love to plan hiking trips, camping trips. Let's go be crazy. Let's go do something.
Yeah.
And then I'm there, and then something happens to trigger anxiety. So the freeze.
Yeah.
We were without power for 2 days, a day and a half. Was it 2 days? Yeah. And I was unable to work. She was unable to work. We were in a house with her friends. It was.
And we're
freezing.
from Florida.
We're from Florida. We've never seen snow.
Snow.
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
And I didn't have. So usually I fall asleep with my phone, which I still do, because I enjoy watching shows.
Yeah.
But I'll fall asleep with a show on or something, like on the brightness down, so it doesn't affect my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Just likes to listen to it.
Yeah, and that during the reason that started was because when I was a kid, I couldn't go to sleep without having something on because of my anxiety. So my parents put on the news for me, which is funny.
Oh, gotcha.
The news used to be kind of okay. Now it's just terrible. But back when it didn't used to be just horrible things to listen to, for me, it helped me go to sleep. It's just noise,
Right.
So I kind of turned into a habit where I always fell asleep with the TV on. If I didn't fall asleep with the TV on, like during camping, I'd even download shows to make sure I had them to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he would get.
I would get anxiety if I didn't have a show.
If you didn't have a show, you couldn't sleep.
No. So when the freeze happened, Obviously, I didn't
Our
have
phones were dead.
shows because our phones were dead and there was no TVs. There was no
Right,
communication.
right. Didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
And I didn't even realize, like, no joke, didn't even
We were
think about
fine.
it. We just went to bed together. Like, we just got in bed, put the blankets over, hug, kiss, goodnight, love you. Didn't even worry about it. Like,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And you were
Yeah.
able to sleep, no problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally fine. And I think
Wow.
it's
It was so
important to
peaceful,
note
too.
that I'm not a big holistic, oh, cut out the gluten, like, kind of guy.
Right.
But I've also never been able to stick with a diet, right? And I don't consider carnivore a diet anymore because it's just a freaking way of life.
Right.
But keto is a diet. It's the ketogenic diet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For me, it always will be a diet, and I couldn't stick to it. I would be 2 weeks really strict, and then go get 3 bags of Sour Patch. When I mean 3 bags of Sour Patch, I mean I'd eat them within 30 minutes. My mouth would be raw from all this stuff. Like,
There's
I would
keto
eat-
Sour Patch?
No. I would go keto.
You would totally go off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never been able to do, like, this is not I somehow found my willpower. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is not last year I couldn't keep keto for longer than 2 weeks, and now I'm suddenly almost at 3 months on something even stricter than keto. When you start eating this way, something happens. It's like the first week you have the normal cravings.
Yeah.
The second week, you're having some sort of withdrawal symptoms where your body might be okay, but your cravings are down.
Yeah.
And then by week 3, you feel like you're on fire. You're like, I'm ready to rock and roll. So that's why this has been, like, all these benefits I haven't even noticed, because I'm still shocked by my weight loss and my lack of cravings, because that's been, since I was 12 years old, it's been a constant battle. Like, otherwise I wouldn't have been fat since I've been 12 years old. If I could have done this the whole time, I'd be skinny.
Yeah.
Like,
we talk about this a lot, because something that connected us so much, like being together, one of our core things in our relationship was that we both had anxiety, and we both dealt with this big thing in our life. And it's like, oh, this is just a part of our world. Like, everybody has anxiety. Oh, it's just such a big thing. So we thought it was something that connected us, that we could share our anxiety together, which looking back is so crazy, because now it's like, what connects us is the fact that we don't have anxiety together. We do, like, we eat steak and we're happy. Like, it sounds crazy, but it's like, it's something that connects us now is carnivore.
Yeah. What was your anxiety like? Was it similar to his or no?
So my anxiety is very different than his. I had a very rough childhood, was adopted at 17 by greatest parents in the world, like hands down best people on the planet. So things started, I thought things were going to get a lot better. I dealt with lots of depression, lots of like suicidal thoughts, lots of food control, my whole teenage life. Because
food control, is that what you said?
Yes. So this is something that we've actually been talking about.
We have fights about it.
Yeah, we've been talking about way more now.
Not anymore.
Is food control. And that's something that I dealt with, not like an eating disorder, but I just didn't like people telling me what I could and couldn't eat. Because my parents got divorced when I was 2 years old. And my dad was in and out of jail, and my mom has bipolar disorder, and so does my grandma. And they're both untreated. So it was just a very toxic childhood environment. And I was constantly being told, oh, you're spending Christmas with this parent and your birthday with that, and here's how we're doing this, and you're doing this. So my parents would always fight and over control over me. So as I got older, I realized that I had control over what I ate. And I could control if I didn't eat breakfast and only had snacks all day. If I only wanted to eat chips, like, my parents didn't care. If I wanted to eat 3 full filling meals in one day, my parents didn't care. I had true control over what I ate. And I really, since like 12 years old, I took that and ran with it. And so even when it came to like, when both of us were not on keto, not anything, just regular standard American diet, Noah would be like, hey, I'm making this for dinner, like real like food. And I'd be like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm just going to have chips and like soda and whatever for dinner.
No joke.
And then he's like, that's not food. And I was like, oh.
You
I said,
ate
if
that
it's
bad.
Oh yeah. And I mean, still skinny, so fine, right?
Right.
Like, that was my mindset. Like, well, I'm not fat, so like, why are you trying to control me? And it was very like, if you'd be like, babe, it's not that I'm saying you're fat or saying anything like that. I'm just saying that that's not real food. Like, you can't eat that for dinner. And then my mind says like, well, you can't tell me what I can and can't eat. Like this, it's my body, it's my choice what I'm going to eat. So lots of food, that's what I mean by like food control. So now that's really, I mean, it's not something I've thought about at all. It's no like, hey, are you going to do 1 meal today, 2 meals? Like, what are you going to do? And that's it. And it's not an issue I've had anymore. Thank goodness. Now it's something we talk about.
Wait, hang on. If you had such food control issues, how were you even convinced to even do keto, much less carnivore?
So keto, keto I was convinced to do with him. And so when we got married, he was on keto when we were engaged and getting married.
Okay.
And
I wanted to look good for the wedding because I can keep it for 2 weeks.
So. Gotcha.
So I realized I hate cooking, by the way, just so you know. I've always hated cooking. I realized I was like, you know what? I want to be a really good wife for him. I don't want to make food for myself and then make keto dinners for him. That's just it. So I switched to keto just because I didn't feel like making 2 different dinners for both of us.
Yeah, but we didn't have to do it for long because neither of us could keep
keto. Neither of us could keep keto very long.
Okay. So the people who do keto long term, I applaud because I felt like it was impossible. With how much leeway you have up to 50 carbs and the sugar-free stuff.
And I only did it because I just wanted to make dinner for both of us and not have to make something for just me and not have to shop for me and shop for him. And I knew I wasn't going to convince him. So I was like, okay, I'll join him. And his mom did keto, so her and I could.
But it wasn't an easy convincing to do. Like,
no, it wasn't.
She was still anti having to do it.
Yeah, I had an attitude the whole time.
Yeah,
I had the worst attitude on keto. I was like, no, it'd be like, didn't you have Enlightened like 3 hours ago? Like, why are you hitting that Enlightened brownie cookie and cream like ice cream again? And I'm like, well, I can't have anything else, so this is all I'm gonna have. Like,
yeah, it was bad.
So yeah, I was just so angry all the time, like restricted, like food control anger. Like it was crazy. And now it's like,
well, she told me
it's just not there. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's just not something I deal with.
She had told me that like after I'd been on it for 1 month, because she's 1 month behind me, right?
Yeah.
You're 2 months behind me. So after I'd been on for almost 2 months, like a month and a half, I don't know.
You're talking about carnivore, right?
Yeah. So after I'd been on carnivore for a month and a half, I didn't push anything, right? Because
you didn't mention it to her. Well, I mean, she knew what you were doing, but that's it.
She knew what I was doing. She knew my results that I was getting.
Right.
But I wasn't like, babe, do it with me, because that's what I used to do during keto. Because it's always easier to have, misery loves company.
Right.
Like it was always easier to do keto when you had someone else sucking with you. Like,
right.
But I didn't push anything this time because I knew how she would get, right? She would get like annoyed and like, I don't want to, I just want to eat, whatever,
resentful.
Yeah.
Resentful would be the word I would use.
And then I think one day I just mentioned, I was like, have you thought about doing carnivore? Because she was talking about something and she goes, I want to. And I was like, like she threw me.
It was for me, it was seeing his anxiety gone and seeing his energy levels up.
Oh yeah.
Natural energy. Because he used to take Adderall all the time. And that was like, for him,
Adderall's
the only way he would get energy and get things done through the day is taking an Adderall and drinking a bang together.
I used to cut my Adderall bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, right.
And that was like the only way he'd have energy, which I thought I was like, bro, that's
I actually
toxic.
got up to.
Were you doing coffee then too, or no?
No, I would just drink 2 bangs.
2 bangs. Damn.
So 600 milligrams of caffeine.
Plus, so that's like super
plus Adderall. Yeah.
Plus Adderall. Oof.
And man, I'll tell you what, I had energy, but it came crashing down.
Crashing down sucked, right? Yeah.
Adderall is what we call it. He would get Adderall.
At 5 or 6 o'clock after the full day, you didn't want to talk to me. Like, my head hurt, my body hurt.
Seeing all of that was the real.
My body ached. Actually, it was bad.
Wow. So when you saw that, Katie, you were like, you saw a huge difference from him. This is a different man.
Personality wise. Because I could see obviously the physical aspects and I was like, dang, he looks good. But that's not something I've ever worried about for myself. Right. I've always had major issues with my skin.
Right.
Like just my face. Because everyone tells me, they're like, oh, his mom calls me, her word for me is a pixie. You look like such a little pixie, like a little fairy, like just like, so like Tinkerbell, So I'm 5'2" on a good day. And like always been around 105 pounds, like never over. So I've always had like the ideal body type, what every girl wants to look like. So that's never been an issue for me besides my thighs. Everything has been fine. Like I've always felt very comfortable in my body, but my skin, I've hated my skin. I probably spent thousands of dollars between skin treatments and makeup, like hands down, since I started wearing makeup at 11 years old.
Just because of the blemishes you've had
Yeah.
and the acne. Wow.
Yeah. And that's like, I mean, it's been crazy. So then once I saw his energy levels, which is something I've always dealt with, is my energy, just because I mean, I work 2 jobs. I work in the daycare atmosphere, so I'm constantly chasing kids around. I nanny. Like my whole life is trying to keep up with these 2-year-old balls of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I've always had a problem with energy.
We'd always joke that she naps more than anyone.
I do love a good nap. But yeah, I would have no energy. And if I did, I would get all of my energy out at work. By the time I come home, like there's still so much left in the day. I'm done with work by 3:00. So there's so much more time left in the day to clean the house, go on a date, take our dog for a run, like go to the pool, play volleyball. I was done.
And I think
I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to do any of that.
I think it's like most 19-year-olds aren't married and doing necessarily what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not like we even have people to talk to. You know, we have no one that's in the same stage of life as we are. Like, even when we were still dating, like all our friends would date multiple people, bounce
in and out of relationships. Yeah. Just very different.
Yeah, we always hung out with older people and stuff like that. So I think just the fact of 2 19-year-olds being so run down, no energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not what a 19-year-old should be.
27-year-old friends who are still single and go out and have like work all day and then go out and club and party and like do all these things. They're like 27 years old, and I was like, how do you have energy for that? I was like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, we come home, we'd veg on the couch, we do
just
whatever.
Watch movies like that. That was our life, which is so different now.
Really?
So,
yeah, we're up at 4 a.m. We work out, we walk the dog, we go work all day, come home, clean the house.
Yeah. Wait, both of you work out now?
Yeah. So well, she hurt her ankle recently.
I fractured my ankle, and so we take martial arts together.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we love it, but I have not mastered the like spinning jump kick.
Yeah.
She landed wrong.
Instead of landing straight, I landed sideways and rolled.
She hasn't been able to work out for the past couple of 2 weeks?
3 weeks since I fractured my ankle. Yeah.
But even when she was only 2 weeks on Carnivore, she was working out, writing down productivity lists. Like,
yeah,
it was like her energy skyrocketed faster than mine did on Carnivore.
Wait. So that look that you got after that month had really not much to do with your workout.
No, she didn't work out. No.
Yeah, no, I worked out. I did Carnivore I've done it now for like a month and 1 week, probably. And so the first 2 weeks, yeah. So the first 2 weeks I worked out every other day, maybe. So 7 times. Mm-hmm. But we were in the middle of moving and unpacking, so I really didn't have the time to give a good workout. And my workouts, by workout, I mean like 30 minutes, do some squats, do some like sit-ups, like that's the full extent. Do some lunges, like that's the extent of it. It's not anything. Yeah, no like,
running, intense, no sprinting, no
nothing like that. Just because I didn't have the time to do a full workout. It was just to say today I worked out. You know, just to say I did something. Yeah. And that was pretty much it. And then when I fractured my ankle, I have not worked out in 3 weeks. Right. I haven't done any physical activity in 3 weeks. No martial arts, nothing.
Yeah. Like your energy's still high. You still want to do constant things.
It drives her crazy. Yeah. She's she talks every day. She's like, oh, I want to work out, but my ankle.
Yeah, I get upset because I'm like, I want to go. He went to a trampoline park. We all went with our friends yesterday to a trampoline park. And I was like, I just want to jump around and be crazy. Just like jump off the walls.
Which is unusual for you, right? Or is this normal?
For both of us.
For both of you. Oh, really? You just don't want to move. Okay, wow.
Yeah. Like when I don't think you realize how bad our diets were. Like when I would eat candy 24/7. I mean, I could pack away some candy, man. It was
so much.
Like
salty
bags.
Foods.
Walgreens has a 6 for $6, and they give you 6 things of candy for $6, right? Mm-hmm. You're talking boxes and bags of candy. And I would take it to the movies, and there would be no candy left after the movie.
No, you'd pack it all in one go?
And with the popcorn and soda, too.
Oh, my God, no. With a Coke, too. Or like soft drink. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that was pretty routine.
That was majority of our date nights. I would say pretty much all of our date nights.
Oh, I could pack away candy.
Like growing up, because I mean, we're two 15-year-old kids. We're both working like maybe 15 hours a week while going to school. So we're working like just high school jobs.
We weren't feeling bad necessarily. Bad.
So we didn't have a lot of money. We would go to the dollar store. We'd go to Walgreens. We would just load up on snacks, spend probably $20 in snacks.
Oh yeah.
And then go home, put on a movie for rent a movie because we were big ballers. We would rent a $2 movie. And then, so for $22, we would sit there and we would just veg and watch and eat and watch and eat.
And it was bad too. Like when I mean veg, it was like things of Twizzlers, Nerds, Sour Patch Kids. Like
my go-to was dill pickle chips.
And cookies and cream.
And Hershey's cookies and cream chocolate bars.
Wow.
Yeah.
With sodas.
With soda. Cherry Coke.
So you could pack away yours too, huh?
Oh yeah. I have a very high metabolism. So I would eat, it would gone. Eat, gone. Eat, gone.
Dang.
She's always been hungrier than I have been.
Yeah.
But I can eat some candy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.